Alright, what up, what up? It is Saturday, July 17th, and it's time for another weekly wrap up. I actually read a lot this week. I read like 5 books, and they're all pretty big. Not all, but mostly pretty big. First up, I read The Idiot by Elif Batuman. I don't know if I'm ever pronouncing that name correctly, but basically, this is a literary novel following a girl with her at her first year at Harvard, and she falls in love. It takes place in 1994. She falls in love with this Hungarian man. It was actually a lot easier to get through than I thought it would be. I was expecting it to be very dense, but it kind of floated. I kind of floated through it. I kind of really enjoyed that. Lots of references, lots of 90s references in particular. It is very well written, very literary. The characters are very interesting. I did really enjoy it. It was definitely one that really captured my attention a lot, and it's one that I think I'm going to keep around. I ended up giving it, I believe, 5 out of 5 stars. Wait, did I start? I did. Started writing down my rating in the front. Now I know. Then, I think the lightest book I read One Punch Man Volume 5 by one Yusuke Murata. I fucking love this. One Punch Man is so fucking funny. So basically the concept of this manga is that it is this world where there are like superheroes and there are like monsters that come up. Superheroes have to fight them. And our main character is Saitama, who's just a regular guy who just started a pretty regular workout regimen and then became so strong that he can kill anything with one punch. And it is so funny. Like, I love this manga series so much. It is hilarious. I love all the characters. I love the art style. This is the same guys who did I Shall 21. At least Yusuke Murata is the artist is. And I just love it. I love the characters. I've got a few more. I think I've got through volume 8, I want to say. As I'm reading them, I am giving them to the school because the kids there love manga, and it's very expensive. And this is a series I love, and I think a lot of them love. But I love this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was so much fun. Then I reread 2 books this week. First one was Illuminae by Amie Kaufmen and Jay Kristoff. I read this a couple years back. It was so fucking good. And rereading it, it was also so fucking good. I'm not a huge sci-fi person, but these books, I've read the first 2 at this point. I have not read book 3 yet, but this one, it is a young adult science fiction series that's told in like very like kind of mixed media format. It's told through like chat logs and stuff like that. But it follows these 2 kids, Katie and Ezra, as their kind of home base is blown up and they escape onto the ship, and stuff starts happening. There's a contagious disease, stuff like that. First of all, this book is very fast because of the mixed media. Like, it is super, super fast and quick to read, but also it's also fast to read because it just sucks you right the fuck in. Like, I did not think that I would be so into it the second time around. Like, I did love the second book too, but I didn't think that a reread on this would hold up quite so much. Like, Katie is so cool. Like, she's such a fucking badass. I love her a lot. Ezra is not quite as like badass and cool, but I still enjoy him. I love the main characters. I love the side characters. I love how it's told. I think I almost cried. I'm not gonna lie. I almost cried rereading this one. And overall, I ended up giving it 5 out of 5 on the reread. Then I had my other reread, which is a short story collection that is Skeleton Crew by Stephen King. This is the one with the mist and the raft in it. I will say my favorite short stories are Survivor Type, The Raft, and probably Nona. Like, I think that it is a set of stories that just kind of fit together very well. It's not quite as batshit crazy as the stuff in Night Shift, but it's still got some really weird and wild concepts, especially stuff like The Raft, which is very 80s King. But I really enjoy it. Like I said, my favorites are Survivor Type, The Raft, and Nona. Survivor Type is the one where the guy fucking eats himself. Survivor Type just ruined my life, and I love it so much. Nona is kind of more of a recent favorite, I think. It's about this guy who, I feel like it's kind of the main story, even though the mist is in this one. It's like, I keep repeating the motif from Nona, which, when we start out, do you love? And that's kind of the motif from Nona. But Nona is about this guy. He's in jail and he had a rough life. He drops out of college and he starts heading back to, just starts heading somewhere, and he meets this waitress, and it's kind of a Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing, but also kind of a vampire kind of. It's kind of beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. It reminds me kind of there's one Clive Barker story. I forget what it's called, but it's in the Inhuman Condition. It's the really beautiful one. But it's very violent, but kind of beautiful. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's not my favorite Stephen King collection. I think I've said it was before, but that was, I think, just because it has Survivor Type in it. And Survivor Type is my favorite Stephen King short story, but definitely a good one. And the last one I read was the worst book I read, but like still pretty fun, and that was Fatal Obsession by D.B. Baylor. This is a story. It's this girl, Lori, and she had since she was like 18 years old, 17, 18 years old, every boyfriend she's had has just died horribly. And now she's 26 and there's this new guy and she really likes him, but he's like, we gotta sneak around or you're gonna die too. Because there's been a guy who's been kind of stalking her for years and years and years. I will say this book was very confusing and not very well written. I really liked the characters. Like, Lori was actually kind of badass. I really liked her. I thought her relationship with Lowell, the new guy, was really, really cute. It was really cute and I liked it. Lots of creepy tropes in here. Definitely some, like, the main villain had a lot of stuff. I don't want to spoil anything if for some reason you're going to pick up this book that has 6 ratings on Goodreads and an average of a 2-star. But there were some really creepy tropes when it came to the main villain, so that was kind of fun. And overall, enjoyable but not good is kind of what I'm trying to get at here. So I gave it a 2-star because I didn't give it a 1 because it was enjoyable. It just wasn't good. Like, the characterization I did really enjoy, but the plot, the writing, how confusing it was really took away a lot of it, but it was kind of fun. Oh my god, my neck is sore from headbanging. Okay. Currently, I have not technically started it yet, but currently I am reading Terrified by Kevin O'Brien. I've read one book by Kevin O'Brien. I enjoyed it. He's like a thriller writer. It's pretty thick, but only 550 pages. So we will see how that goes. But yeah. Okay. So these are the books I read this past week. That is all I have for today. I will talk to you later, and goodbye.